Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have some more custom cards by Hazash to review today. This was meant to come out on Sunday, so yesterday, but it's coming out on Monday, or today. You've said when the video comes up. Just got a bit overcrowded with schedules and stuff, so I push us back a day. But anyway, this is a new balance change of the dragons included in the Dawnguard set. So you'll see some changes here if you've already looked through it. And yeah, there'll be a few cards you've already seen before. We'll go over them again, and we'll see how they all synergize together in a very cool and special way. Now, as Hazash has mentioned, no Skyrim-based expansion would be complete without a few dragon cards. And he's also mentioned about, not too sure about the power level of some of these, so giving feedback would always help. And, you know, feedback with us on Reddit or even in these comment sections, you know, it's stuff that he can kind of see and relay back to him. And every voice kind of helps to kind of work out where the balance comes with these cards. Anyway, starting off, we have two of the dragons from the Shout set that we looked at a while ago. One is a 5-cost 5/5 for strength, and the other one is a 4-cost 4/3 for agility. With these two, I remember looking at them. The strength one it's not too bad. It's just a nice, simple kind of dragon for 5 costs in a strength-based dragon deck. It's a nice bit of support, but it's not really too much anything special. But then again, these are common cards, so we wouldn't expect too much from them. While Voice of Haste can be outstandingly good because it basically gives you Magicka as a refund for whenever you're using your shouts, and Drain Vitality then literally becomes a 0-cost card, which is really nice to see. But yeah, Voice of Haste obviously very cool. Voice of Akatosh also kind of cool. We do also have the Dragon Cultist, which we recently reviewed on the Treasure Hunt set. A 2-cost 2/2 that when you draw into a dragon, both cards gain +1/+1. Again, it's a nice buffing card. It's kind of good to get extra value on things and really just pushes the archetype forward. But we've already spoken about this one before, so I will move on from it. Now we move on to Kindsgrove Menace. An 8-cost 10/10 dragon with guard that can't attack your opponent directly. So the stats are obviously very good, especially with the keyword included on this. And it does have one big drawback, which is that it can't attack directly. It can obviously gain keywords like Breakthrough and use that to damage your opponent. But as it stands, it's a 10/10 card. It's a very dangerous and powerful card. Which originally, if you've looked at this set before, couldn't attack creatures and could only attack your opponent. But as he's mentioned down here, it's quite a dangerous thing, especially if you get it through like Halls of Colossus, just to have a 10/10 beat stick for slamming into your opponent, smashing your way through. Especially if you like pair this up with certain cards, like Echo of Akatosh here, which will, when you draw a creature, give it a random keyword. If you then end up giving Kindsgrove Menace this ability with Echo of Akatosh, it could then become an 8-cost 10/10 with charge, and if it can attack your opponent, yeah, you can see where the issues come from, meaning it being limited to only being able to attack creatures makes it much better. It is obviously a very scary beat stick, having guard as well as very high stats, but it's mainly just kind of going to be hit with a lot of removal bait, and very much definitely slows down a lot of your opponent's plays. So it's a cool card. I definitely think it works a lot better with this improvement compared to how it was before. It is a bit weird seeing an 8-cost 10/10 with guard, but yes, it does have a limit at least. I mean, if it was, what I would do is slightly change the wording to it can't damage your opponent, because then it also limits breakthrough potential. But other than that, yeah, that's all I'd really do. It would also have a few then interesting interactions with like, ironically, a shout dragon aspect, where if your opponent's face battled this, their face wouldn't take any damage with my suggested effect rather than the one that's currently there. But yeah, no, a very cool card. We will move on to the legendary of the set, Legendary Dragon. As he's mentioned, this is the actual breed's name. It's not just lazy name writing. we can respect everything here. So yeah, it's a 9 cost 6/6 with guard, and while in play, it gains the abilities of all your non-unique dragons on the board. So a lot of these do seem quite scary, but when you realise that most of these abilities are just summon abilities, it becomes a lot less spooky than you'd think. So say for instance you'd have, at the start of each turn, set creatures down to this. The fact is it wouldn't be getting keywords as well, it's just getting the abilities of the non-unique dragons. So there are quite a few good ones that it will be getting if you have the cards on the board at the same time. Like say you'd have things if you can get Blood Dragon down because it can ignore guards, and it could also maybe have something like, so you're looking for it's only a summon, so it's, I don't know, when you draw a creature give it a random keyword. There's a couple abilities there which are really good with it and synergize very well at making it a much stronger card, but as you saw there, quite a lot of them won't really affect Legendary Dragon. And if we look at ones like Kindsgrove Menace, if you have a Kindsgrove Menace down and you play Legendary Dragon, it will actually end up hindering this card a little, because it means that you won't be able to attack your opponent, which is, quite an important thing to kind of go off. Anyway, let's move on to our next twin card, or our first twin card, or dual card. It's dual card, wasn't it? Not twin cards. These two are based off the revered dragons that you meet in the Dawnguard DLC. I think they're guarding a bit of Drain Vitality in the Forgotten Vale. And they're basically like twin dragons that, that they just attack you and then you're like, whoa, got to fight 2 dragons at once. First we have Narslarum, which is a 6 cost 4/4, the most 6 cost 4/4s. But it has Pilfer +1/+1. And when another friendly dragon gains power or health, it also gains power or health. And Volasarum is the same way, but instead of it having Pilfer, it has Slay. I think these two having their kind of twin abilities is a really cool and a wonderful idea, because it replicates those 2 dragons that really do. Like I remember the first time I was playing the Dawnguard DLC, and I looked over to that frozen lake and went, "Oh, sweet! There's just a word wall over there. Nice." Stepping onto that lake and then hearing this crash through the ice, going, "Oh, sudden dragon fight," and then hearing a second crash and thinking, "Oh, fun," and having to fight 2 dragons at once. And like they said here, it can kind of work a bit like a Gardener of Swords as well for equipping items to other dragons, and it doesn't work as an infinite loop, yada yada yada. But no, it's a very cool card, and I do love the concept, because dual cards didn't really get used that much, so having a couple more in the game is something that I very much agree with and think is cool. And we do have Dernavir to end the set, which we have seen before, but I will do a quick little rundown of it, as it's a 6 cost 4/4, that at the end of your turn, if you've played a shout at one of these levels, something will happen. Play a level 1 shout, Dernavir's cost drops by 1. Play a level 2 shout, or higher obviously, so these will all go off at once. You draw him from the deck, and then a level 3 shout, you draw him from your discard pile. Now obviously with Galen procs, you could do some very, very clever things here, but even then, the thing is you'll be getting a 6 cost 4/4. Yes, your shouts will be reducing the cost of Dernavir, but once he goes into your discard pile, back up to 6 cost. You get him back, and he's a 6 cost 4/4 with no keywords. So it's a very cool card for how it kind of like searches itself and loops round. But the thing is, because it doesn't have any keywords or anything like that, it isn't too crazy to have these abilities, which is what I really like about it. I mean, he mentioned here that he originally had a new keyword, which would basically prevent you copying him with like Galen. But yeah, he wanted to see what your opinions would be of that. So if you aren't a fan of the idea of this being copied, let me know in the comments if you think it's fine having it possibly get duplicated, because realistically it's a very rare occurrence to get those 2 monsters or 2 creatures and then go, yes, let's do this, because surely you'd want to use Galen with certain other cards as well, and leaving that late might be a bit of a waste, especially as it will get you some, cheap 7/7s to hand, especially as like your level 1 or higher shouts will be reducing its cost. But then after they've been destroyed once, they go down to being 4/4s again. So it's something to consider. But no, it's still a very cool card, and seeing the dragons included in the set are very nice and awesome synergy. But that is the set. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, obviously check out the new balance changes here. I'll leave the link in the description as always. Thank you once again to Hazash for making this set, and I hope you guys have a good day.